y'all, welcome back to Sentro School. Today we'll be learning how to knit I-cord on the Sentro. I-cord is commonly used for straps and ties, but it can come in handy for lots of different projects. You'll really only be able to do this with worsted, Aran, and bulky weight yarn though, since thinner yarns such as sport and DK weight are just a bit too thin to make the stitches look even, and the I-cord ends up looking sort of see-through. If that's the look you want, then by all means use those thinner yarns, but I think most of the time you'll want your I-cord to look a bit tighter knit. So with that, let's get started. First, make sure your machine is in the tube setting. You can use any 3 consecutive needles that you want, but I'm just going to use the first 3. So grab your yarn and cast on 3 stitches. And don't put your yarn through the yarn and tension guides. We're just going to be guiding the yarn with our hand the whole time. So then crank the handle of your machine until you come back around to the first needle again, making sure that your yarn doesn't get caught in any passing needles along the way. Then once this first needle pops up, we're going to bring the yarn around the back of the needle to the front and make sure it gets under the hook on your needle. And then just knit those 3 stitches. And then crank the handle of your machine until we get all the way back around to the first needle again. And you'll probably notice that your cast on tail drops like this, but don't worry about it. That is supposed to happen. It's no big deal. So then wrap your yarn around the back of the needle again to the front and knit those 3 stitches. And then just repeat for however many rows you want. Bring the yarn around the first needle and knit those 3 stitches. And as you're bringing your yarn around that first needle, you'll want to pull your yarn sort of tight. You don't want your tension to be too loose because then your I-cord is going to be sort of loose. After a few rows, you'll want to pull on your yarn tail a little bit and then kind of pull on the bottom of your I-cord just to get those stitches sort of out of the way and kind of in their place. As we keep knitting, you'll notice that there are some kind of horizontal bars along the back of your I-cord, and all you have to do to get rid of those is just pull on the bottom of your I-cord and they'll turn into nice looking stitches. So we can do a few more so that we can see those horizontal bars. I can show y'all what I'm talking about. So here y'all can see these horizontal bars across the back of my I-cord. It's a lot easier to see that they're there when your I-cord's longer. So just to get rid of those, all we have to do is pull on the bottom of our I-cord, and it sort of magically turns into these nice looking stitches along the back. And they should match the stitches kind of all along your I-cord. So you have this nice little kind of tube that you're making that you can turn into straps or ties or really whatever you want. So I'm gonna knit a few more before we do a cast off, but I will show y'all how to do that. Once your I-cord is long enough for your liking, you'll want to cast off. So just cut your yarn, making sure that the tail is long enough for whatever you're gonna wanna do with this I-cord later, like sewing the I-cord onto a top or something. I don't need to use this I-cord for anything, so I'm gonna make my tail pretty short, but you might wanna make yours longer. Then we'll thread the yarn through a darning needle and just crank the handle of your machine to release the stitches from the machine like we normally do with a cast off. And we're going to come and pick up this first stitch first, actually. Usually when we do a cast off, we start with the stitch that's kind of attached to this tail. But to finish off the I-cord, because you know we've been bringing the yarn around and around and around like this, we need to pick up this first stitch first, and then the second stitch, and then our third stitch. Just like that. Bring the yarn through and then just pull on it, and that'll create a little knot that secures your I-cord. And here we have it. So that's all for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, then be sure to leave a like, and if you enjoy Sentro content, then be sure to subscribe. This is just one video of many in my Sentro instructional video series, so keep an eye out for more. I hope you'll have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.